Ever think chef in German means the chef in the kitchen, or that a gift is a nice present? Well, you better think again. Today, we're going to dive into the wild world of German false friends. German English false friends are sneaky little words that look very familiar, but they have a completely different meaning in English. In this video, you'll learn about 20 to 30 of the most common German false friends, what they mean, and how to avoid sounding totally confused or offensive. And of course, I'll also tell you what the correct word is to use instead of the false friend. You can access this full lesson on mygermanizedlife.com. I've got the link in the description below. So what are false friends? False friends are words in two languages that look or sound similar, but differ significantly in meaning. First, let's look at chef. No, it's not somebody who stands in the kitchen and cooks your meal. Your chef is your boss, and not just at the diner. Let's look at an example sentence. Mein Chef ist sehr nett. My boss is very nice. If you're looking for that guy who's flipping the schnitzels, that's the Koch or Köchin. So next time you hear, mein Chef ist streng, don't expect a review of last night's dinner. Moving on to number 2, gift. Now, you might think gift means the same thing as present, but actually it means poison in German. For example, das Gift ist gefährlich. The poison is dangerous. So if someone offers you a gift in German, you better not take it. If you want to know the word for a present in German, it's Geschenk. And you can say, ich schenk dir etwas. I'm gifting you something. All right, moving on to our next false cognate, we have bald. You might think bald. Oh, that means somebody who has no hair. But you would be wrong. Bald in German means soon. For example, you say, ich komme bald. I'm coming soon. And there's no need to check somebody's hair to see if they got it shaved off. Bald in German has nothing to do with haircuts. The word for a bald head in German is eine Glatze or Glatzkopf. Our next German false friend is bekommen. You might think it means to become, but it means something very different. Bekommen means to get or receive something. For example, ich bekomme ein Geschenk. I receive a gift. If you want to say you're turning into something, or the word for become in German, use werden. For example, ich werde müde. So please don't say, ich bekomme müde. Say, ich werde müde. I'm getting tired. Our next word is rat. If you're looking at this word as an English learner, you probably think, rat? Is that a rodent? But this word means advice. For example, ich brauche deinen Rat. I need your advice, not I need your rat. If you want to talk about a rat, the rodent, use die Ratte. Our next German word is also. You might think it means also, but actually it means therefore. For example, also was machen wir jetzt? So what are we doing now? This tiny word can be sneaky, especially if you're reading in German. It doesn't mean also. It means so or well then. If you start a sentence with also, you're probably transitioning to a new thought, not listing another item. For also, use auch. Next we have aktuell. You might think this means actually, but the meaning is current. For example, das ist die aktuelle Situation. This is the current situation. Aktuell is all about the now, not actually. If you want to contradict someone or clarify a point, use the German word eigentlich. Saying aktuell bin ich müde means I'm currently tired, which might actually be true if you're studying German grammar. Next up, we have the German word Fabrik. You might think this means fabric, but actually it means a factory. Let's look at an example sentence. Arbeitet in einer Fabrik. He works in a factory. Don't expect sewing machines and soft cotton when you hear Fabrik. If you want to say fabric in German, try the word Stoff. Next we have brav. You might think this means brave, but actually it means well-behaved. For example, das Kind ist sehr brav. The child is very well-behaved. Being brav in German doesn't require courage. It means you're behaving well. Our next word is fast. You might think fast means quickly or fast, but it means almost in German. For example, ich bin fast fertig. I'm almost done. Fast in German will not win you any races. It just means almost. So when someone says, ich bin fast da, don't expect them to come sprinting in. They're nearly there, not speed walking. If you want to say quick or fast in German, use schnell. Next we have eventuell. You might think this means eventually, but it means possibly. For example, eventuell komme ich später. It means I might come later, not that I'll come later eventually. Then we have Pension. Are you looking for your retirement fund? This is the wrong word. In German, a Pension is a cozy and family-run guest house. These are great if you're on a vacation, but if you want to talk about retirement money, use the word Rente. So check the context. Either you're getting a monthly check or a continental breakfast. All right, our next word is hell. You might think this means hell, but it means bright. And the opposite of hell is dunkel or dark, bright and dark. For example, das Zimmer ist hell. The room is bright. So when someone says your apartment is hell, it's a compliment, not a spiritual warning. Our next German false friend is handy. You might think this means handy or practical, but this word means cell phone. This word can take a little getting used to. For example, ich habe mein Handy vergessen. I forgot my cell phone. Our next false friend is Kaution. You might think this word means caution, but it actually means your security deposit when you rent. For example, die Kaution beträgt 500 Euro. The security deposit is 500 euros. This Kaution won't warn you about danger. It will cost you cold hard cash before you move in. Think deposit, not danger. The word for caution in German is Achtung. Next we have Not. You might think this means not, but Not in German means emergency. For example, in der Not rufe 112. In an emergency, call 112. This Not means serious business. It's not a denial, it's a distress signal. Our next word is rock. You might think this means a rock, like the stone or music. But this actually means a skirt. For example, sie trägt einen schönen Rock. She's wearing a beautiful skirt. Instead of expecting guitar riffs or a geology lesson, Rock in German is all about fashion. All right. Our next word is Gymnasium. You might think gymnasium is where you go to do your exercise, like a gym. But actually, it means a high school. For example, geht ins Gymnasium. He goes to high school. So when you go to a gymnasium, don't expect to see treadmills there. You'll only find students studying. If you're looking for the German word for gym, try Fitnessstudio. Next we have smoking. You might think this means smoking, but it means tuxedo in German. For example, trägt einen Smoking. He's wearing a tuxedo. With the smoking, you'll be lighting up the red carpet, not a cigarette. Smoking in German is formal wear. The German word for smoking is rauchen. Next up, we have lokal. You might think this word means local, but actually, a lokal is a pub or a restaurant. For example, wir treffen uns im Lokal. We're meeting at the pub. A lokal might be where locals go to drink. It's a spot for schnitzel and beer. The word for local is rötlich. Next we have mist. You might think this means mist on a foggy day, but actually it means manure or crap. For example, so ein Mist. What a load of crap. Best translated as crap, literally and emotionally. Mist, in English, as we know it, is called Nebel in German. Our next word is Rente. You might think this means your rent, but this is the word for your pension. For example, geht in Rente. He's going to retire. Deine Rente isn't your monthly payment to a landlord. It's your reward after decades of work. The word for rent in German is die Miete. Our next word is Milliarde. You might think this means a million, but actually this is the German word for billion. Eine Milliarde, 1 billion. The word for million in German is Million. Our next German false friend is Art. You might think Art means art, like at a museum. But in German, this means a type or a kind of a thing. For example, diese Art von Musik, this kind of music. So it has nothing to do with painting. Nope. Art in German is about types or categories. For actual art in English, say Kunst in German. Kritik. In German, you might think this means the critic, but actually it's the criticism. For example, die Kritik war positiv. The criticism was positive. When you say die Kritik, it isn't a person with opinions. It's the opinions themselves. If you're looking for a critic, try Kritiker. Next we have curios. You might think this means curious, but you'd be wrong. In German, kurios means odd or strange. For example, ein kurioser Vorfall, a strange incident. With this word, we're not talking about intellectual curiosity. Kurios is all about weird vibes. It means bizarre, not inquisitive. For curious, try neugierig. Next we have Labor. You might think this means labor, but actually it means a laboratory. Our example sentence is Sie arbeitet im Labor. She works in the laboratory. Labor in German is called die Arbeit. Our next word is Lack. You might think this means lack, like something you're missing or lacking, but this means varnish or paint in German. For example, der Tisch hat frischen Lack. The table has fresh varnish. That missing piece It's not here. Lack is something added to a shiny coat of paint. If you want to say a lack, use Mangel. Next we have mobben. You might think this means to mob, but it means to bully. For example, wird in der Schule gemobbt. He's being bullied at school. This type of mob doesn't gather, it targets. Mobben is to bully, especially at school or work. If you want to talk about a crowd, try die Menschenmenge. Next we have Brand. You might think this means brand, but actually it means a fire or a burn. For example, der Brand zerstörte das Haus. The fire destroyed the house. A Brand in German isn't your favorite label. This Brand burns. For branding, stick with die Marke. Well, that was it, German learners. We've been through all of our German false friends, and you're almost fluent in German. False friends are like sneaky little trolls on your road to fluency. They're easy to overlook and quick to trip you up. Keep your Wörterbuch handy, stay vernünftig, and I'll see you in the next lesson. To access this lesson again, go to mygermanizedlife.com. I've linked it below so you can remember your German false friends. Auf Wiedersehen, German learners.